So starting the match, my thought process was pretty much to try and remain pretty solid, get a feeling for the courts, for the match, and not go for too much in these first couple games here. I really wanted to play myself into the match. As we can see, my opponent here was a little bit of a level up from the previous matches that I showed on the channel, and we had a pretty similar UTR going into this match. We can see straight away that the rallies were reasonably long. I wasn't going for too much, and my opponent was able to get on top of the rally a little bit more than me in this first game. It was nice to be able to play a match where I could really go for my first serve and really get some easier third balls to really put the pressure on. So the start of the match here were pretty level. Not really too big a momentum change, just on serve, both of us getting into the match. But after this game, that's where you really see the momentum start going towards my way. I knew that I just needed to keep playing aggressive and really go for my shots in this sort of controlled aggression way. Really try and dictate on my forehand and get my opponent moving. Getting the early break gave me a bit of confidence, and I was able to just relax a little bit in his service games after this, and I didn't feel as much pressure. So we're 3-2 now, and I could notice that I was starting to get a few cheap unforced errors, and I carried on playing aggressive to control the points. I wasn't really hitting too many winners or forced areas, but I was getting on top of the rally, and then as the rally extended, I was getting some cheap errors. I'm really starting to get an advantage in the scoreline now. Just a mixture between me putting the pressure on and the unforced errors going my way. So at the end of this first set, I kind of really just thought to myself that my opponent was making the unforced errors. All I needed to do was be solid here. I think I didn't really acknowledge how much pressure I was applying as well. Going into the second set, I sat down at a change of ends, gave myself the mindset of just carry on being solid, and then the errors will come, and then I can carry on winning the match that way. But as we quickly see at the start of the second set, that wasn't the case. So starting the second set now, I kind of thought of it more of like an extension of the first set, but I could really see that my opponent changed the way that he was playing, became a lot more solid, didn't give me those unforced errors he was giving me in the first set, and then it started to affect the way that I was playing. I started to spray a few more unforced errors, start to go for it a bit too much. So So we can see here my opponent's making a lot more of the shots that he was missing in the first set, being a lot more aggressive, going for his shots, and he's got a break point in the first game. Just away an easy winner there. So, being a breakdown in the first game and second set, this is a big momentum shift. The scoreline's back to 0-0. It's essentially a fresh start in the second set. In my opponent's head, that's how he saw it anyway, and in my head I was like, oh, I can't believe I lost the first game. I won the first set fairly comfortably. And then I started changing the way that I was playing, just being a lot more passive. And then he was getting on top of the points more, forcing me into a lot more errors. And then that made me feel like I had to go for more early. I didn't have that controlled aggression that I was talking about in the first set, where I had that balance between hitting it aggressively but not going for stupid shots. There's a kind of a fine line between being wild and like being passive, and you need to find that balance, and that's where you play your best, where you look like you're playing aggressive but you're still kind of within yourself while you're playing. Starting to spray a few more unforced errors, and I went from like hardly any unforced errors to more unforced errors in these first two games here in the second set than I did in the whole of the first set. So this is where we can really see a big momentum shift. My opponent's got more confidence. I'm lacking a bit of confidence, even after winning that first set, and I'm starting to mess with my mind. How am I 2-love, 3-love down after this first set? It's happened so quickly. I've hardly won a point in the second set. He's playing so much better, and it's just slipping away from me. And think about what was happening and playing the same way that I was before, and it's not working, and I'm not making that adjustment and recognising that momentum change, and I wasn't doing anything to stop him from getting that advantage with the amount of points that he was winning. And really what I should have realised was that I was playing more passive and he was taking the advantage, so I needed to play a little bit more, try and get on the top of the point a little bit earlier without going for big shots, and just dictate a little bit longer. We can see here in this point, I'm getting on top of the point really well, and then just unable to put it away, and we've got to see this history of that if you've watched my previous videos where I've been unable to finish those points off with the smashes. There were like a handful, like 3 or 4 points where I did take control of it, I did dictate longer, and he had really good defensive skills that led me to play another shot and another shot and another smash, and then ended up losing the point. And this happened like 3 times, and all these points on paper I should have won them all. And then that started messing with my head, and then I started getting distracted, which really took me away from the mat, and I started to get really frustrated because of this. And then, like I said before, that was taking me out of the present, and whenever you're not in the present whilst you're playing, you're thinking about the future, thinking about the past, thinking about what should have happened. That's a really dangerous place to be in whilst you're playing a match. So here we are, like 5-love down, and this is the moment where I actually started to change things. This is where I actually really recognised, wow, there has been a massive momentum shift. It's been like 15-20 minutes, I'm 5-love down. Okay, let me relax and just go for it, because there's absolutely no pressure. And as soon as I did that, as soon as I relaxed and just started going for my shots a bit more without trying to force it, that's when I started to get a bit more success again. And because of this, I gained more confidence, and then my opponent started to making more unforced errors. So this is another momentum shift when I'm 5-love down, starting to win more points. And this is really key, and this is why you should never tank a set when you're like 5-love down. Because even if we go into like a third set and I don't win this set, at least I've got up in a few games. I started to get a bit more momentum, and then playing into that match tiebreak or that third set, I can feel like I got a little bit of the upper hand. So I ended up losing that set 6-2. Got back 2 games when I was 5-love down, and there was a little bit of an extended gap because we both went for bathroom break at the end of the second set. Coming into this match tiebreak now, there has been another momentum leveler, and it feels like a fresh start again. That's why it's really important to get those first few points in and not give away any loose errors in the start of that third set. I was trying to play the start of that match tiebreak like an extension of the end of the previous set. It didn't really work that well for me, and I kind of sprayed a few errors a little bit early on. Then that gave my opponent a bit more confidence. Where I should have started that match tiebreak a little bit more solid. Tried to go for less early on and just extend the rallies in trying to and try and move my opponent about and dictate these points. This is a really big point here at 3-1 down in a tiebreak, really long rally. And I made a bad decision to slice that forehand. Should have just trusted my physicality and just got behind it and tried to dictate that point even longer. And again, another point where I didn't finish it off with the smash when I needed to. That was another big point in the tiebreak. And a really good point from my opponent to finish the match.